What's up YouTube? KS Gun Guy here. Thanks for joining me today as always. If you like what you see here, do be sure to like, subscribe, and share, and there's plenty more content on the way. So I've got in front of you two very popular firearms. Now they're basically the same firearm, they're the Glock 19, but two different versions or variations of the Glock 19. I've got the Vickers Tactical right here with the RTF grip on it, and then I've got basically a plain Jane Glock 19. Now I've got it a little bit tricked out because I'm doing some testing on it, but the reason I have both of these out is based upon some discussions that have taken place in comment sections throughout several videos of mine, and that is around Glocks and the relevance of Glocks versus some of the other fantastic firearms or offerings from different manufacturers out there. Now here's the thing, I'm not here to tell you that Glocks are better or worse or anything like that. I don't think there's such thing as a best firearm. I think all guns are pretty fantastic, and different guns are great for different reasons. But I've been a long-time fan of Glocks for sure, and I've been spending some time with Glocks again. I spent so long with Sig Sauers and Walthers and HKs and CZs and all of that type of thing that it's been fun to come back and kind of revisit the world of Glock. But a question I posed a little bit earlier on in the channel was, do Glocks suck? And I don't mean that in a literal way, of course. I really don't think they suck. But questions have been posed around, is Glock keeping up with the times? And so that's why I put these two different offerings out here, because these are newer offerings from Glock, although there have been several iterations of the Vickers Tactical. But then I've also got this, it's the FS version or front serration version that just came out of the Glock 19, and I'll do a specific video on this at a later time when I get it back to its stock configuration, which it isn't right now. But I've just been kind of thinking about, you know, especially with this one right here, this front serration one, is Glock trying to make some improvements based upon feedback that has been going on for at least a couple of years now about Glock, about how Glock hasn't really innovated for a while. They've stuck with the same thing. Now, there's an argument to be had that, you know, Glock found something good and they went with it, and it's been incredibly popular. It's hard to deny that, and I largely agree with that. However, I think there's an opportunity for every manufacturer to continue to get better and better and try new and different things, even if occasionally it flops. So we've got these two different models here, and of course the Vickers has been very popular over the years, and this is the newest iteration of that with the FDE, and it's kind of a dark FDE finish on it, and then it's got the Ameriglow front sights and the Wilson Combat back sights, and of course the RTF texture, which I like quite a bit. It gives a fantastic purchase on the firearm, and then some other Vickers toys on it, that sort of things, just some little accessories. Now you pay a premium for a gun like this, but I've always said that upgrading the sights is, at least in my opinion, kind of a must for Glocks to get away from those polymer U-notch or field goal style sights. So out of the box, this has some of those great upgrades right there, plus a very different type of grip at least. I don't know that it's necessarily better or worse than maybe a Gen 4 or even in some cases a Gen 3, but it's certainly very different. And is this type of offering from Glock, even though I know that it's also an offering from Lipsies or Vickers, whatever you want to say, but is this enough to keep Glock relevant, or from the factory itself, having this front serration version right here? And they've done some other things as well, aside from just the front serrations. They also did a little bit of reworking of the magazine release, although it's hardly noticeable, but it's there. But it just kind of made me wonder, you know, is this Glock's way of saying, hey, you know, we've heard the feedback, it's taken a while, but we're starting to get with the times and add some more features that people are asking about. It even out of the box came with some steel sights, which I have changed, believe it or not. Even though they were steel sights, they were still kind of the field goal sights, and I'm not a big fan of those. So I put some Trijicon HDs on this just to make it a little bit more comfortable for myself. But I didn't have to do that. At least it came with some steel sights, and one of the biggest criticisms of Glock has been the sights. So I think they kind of met halfway there a little bit, at least with this particular one out of the box, getting some steel sights, certainly an upgrade from the polymer sights, but I perhaps would have liked to have seen something different, perhaps a 3-dot setup, or maybe even a night sight setup. Now, I do believe that they have a night sight option, which is fantastic. This particular model didn't have it. But then it's also got the front serrations on it as well, and that's been something that that people have said over time about Glocks, that they would like to see the serrations so they don't have to go to an aftermarket company and have that work done. It just comes that way out of the box. So now, in my opinion, I think this is a good step forward for Glock, because it keeps some of the same things that Glock has been known for a long time. The internals have stayed the same, and the internals really are what makes, in my opinion, Glocks the reliable type of firearm that they are. I mean, they're notably reliable. It's hard to deny that. But they've done some things to enhance that, I think. So, again, this isn't a video trying to say, you know, hey, Glock is the greatest thing in the world, because I don't necessarily think so. Again, I don't think any gun is the greatest gun ever. But I'm happy to see that that Glocks have tried to make a bit of a step forward, so to speak, in the firearms industry, and at least say, hey, we're still here, and we're trying to do some different things, which is good. So I pose the question to you: do you feel like Glock, as a manufacturing company, and some of the different offerings right now, they're offering this particular one in the 17 and the 19, same with the Vickers, and I think they're going to do the front serration on some other models down the road. But again, the question becomes, do you think that Glock is doing enough to stay with the times with some of these, albeit small enhancements, but enhancements nonetheless, as Glock tends to be kind of stuck firmly and comfortably and confidently in what they do. So I'm looking forward to hearing your feedback about this. Is Glock trying to stay relevant? Are they doing good things? So be sure to leave some comments on that, and I'm looking forward to seeing it. And otherwise, so thanks again so much for joining me. Really appreciate it. Do be sure to like, subscribe, and share, and I will see you next time. Thanks.